Welcome to Mental as Anyone.
I didn't know I'd be sitting here in a wig talking about mental health. Because anybody who's tuning in is going, yeah, this bitch got the answer.
I'm your host, JMO, and in this series we explore mental health.
If this is what life's going to be, I don't want to be here.
The battles, the triumphs, and the strategies to deal with mental health in a healthy way.
We are born and we are just told stories upon stories upon stories about how to live our life, and no one knows.
I'm the first to know that's not easy, having battled on my own journey. Now, I'll be speaking with others who are ready to share their own insights and lessons.
You know, you try to bury it, keep busy, and then all of a sudden it just swallows you whole.
This podcast is specifically designed to support you on your own journey. So join me as we learn together that we are mental as anyone.
You're out there, and every night you have to prove that you deserve to be there.
BYD isn't just powering this podcast. For nearly 3 years, it's been redefining the way I drive. It brings me peace of mind. I just charge it at home, no more detours to the petrol station. And the way it drives, so smooth and has instant power when you need it. It's got all the space, all the tech, and I feel good knowing it's better for the environment too. If you're even a little bit curious, check out the links in the show notes, and thanks BYD for helping bring Mental as Anyone to life. This episode is proudly brought to you by Chemist Warehouse, your go-to destination for all things health and well-being. From essential vitamins and supplements to skincare and fitness products, Chemist Warehouse offers everything you need to stay balanced and healthy. Plus, they're committed to supporting your health journey with affordable, high-quality products. Visit chemistwarehouse.com.au to explore their extensive range and take your next step in your well-being. Harry Garside, he's an Olympic athlete. He's a personality. He is a man about town, entrepreneur, the face of Crew perfume at Chemist Warehouse. Chemist Warehouse is a sponsor of this podcast. Harry Garside, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
Mate, mental health is a conversation that you're very passionate about. Why?
I think I've thought about this question a lot. I think seeing some stuff growing up around siblings, and then also my own sort of battles with like a crazy manic mind that doesn't switch off and it just can spiral in negative ways at times. And I think I'm noticing that from a young age. I think it's always been something that I've been really interested in. At the age of 16, I was super fortunate that a youth organization entered my life, the Reach Foundation, and they ran a workshop. And I think in that day, they gave me the ability to delve inside and find out who I was. And I was really grateful for that. And I think they just sort of started this journey of myself going on that journey. I think emotions, mental health, or just like mental stability and talking about those things are the only things that connect us as humans, because we all go through highs and lows of life. Yeah.
I think everyone makes a lot about the fact that you're kind of the anti-boxing dude. You talk about things like emotions, gender, life in a way that perhaps other men don't have done.
Yeah, I think it's no fault of anyone's, right? It's just like people, I've thought about this a lot, like a lot of people are telling men to open up and talk and are you okay, Day? And like these things, I think they come from like the heart and they're really nice. But I think there is a lot of men that I have seen in my life that genuinely struggle and they would love to just feel capable or respected or needed. You give a man a job. It's like, I always like, I call my dad and I say, I need a new car. He will send me 20 cars in the next 24 hours of cars in my area. Like you give some men, definitely not all men, a job or something to do or to feel needed or respected. I just know that I'm not really like that. I know that I love talking about things. I know that I'm complex. I know that every human, when I talk to them on a deep level, is complex too. And there's many parts of my personality. So, and I think the more that we explore ourselves, the more that we'll all realize that there's so many different parts of us. And I think it's up to us what we show and it's up to us what we want to be. And I'm just happy I'm going on like a weird little journey of finding out who it is, right? Yeah.
Have you always been that expressive and that able to express yourself?
Yeah, I think it's like, I don't know, I sort of like fed into it a little bit when I was younger. Like in the family, I'd be the one, I'm the youngest of three boys. I'd be doing like the fashion shoots, or like if my girl cousins were doing like dress ups, I'll be dressing up. And I was always like loved exploring that. And I think, I don't know, I just loved it's like lights, camera, action. You know what I mean? It's probably why boxing works as well, because it is a lights, cameras, action. It's very much like that. It's like it's a beautiful to just express. And I think I saw something recently and I love it. It's like the opposite to depression is expression. And I think, if you can find those things that make you feel like you're expressing something to the world, boxing has been that vehicle, but there's so many other things that I do now that I think express things to the world. And I think it's like the way you combat, feelings of depression or lower senses of self or I guess more negative emotions.
Do you get those negative emotions?
All the time. Yeah, I think there's such a fine line between genius and insanity. I'm sure you've spoke to so many people in showbiz and stuff like that, and it's like sometimes the people who are the most successful are like the ones who are the most, I wouldn't say crazy, but they're like they're on, right? They're like a fast speed car that doesn't know how to turn off, and I can feel that at times. And I know there's times where I'm doing really good with managing those things, and there's other times in my life where I'm not doing so well. I don't think it's like a linear thing. I don't think you arrive at a destination and go, oh, all my worries are done, right? I think sometimes you're going really good, and you could be going really good for a year or 6 months or however long, and then something happens and it's like that little degree shift and you find yourself in an uglier place. So that's just, I think, being human, and it's messy, it's fun, it's beautiful. Like, how lucky are we to just be on a spinning rock in the middle of nowhere, right? Making it up.
I wish I could look at it like that at all times, because when I'm in my dark places, I'm like, how do I get out of this? Like, I'm trying to shovel myself or, throw water out of the boat as I feel like it's sinking. I wish I was able to look at it as a fun journey at that point.
Yeah, it's so hard when you're in it, right? It's so hard. But it's also like, I don't know, I always find if you zoom out far enough, I'm sure you can just think about this now, you don't have to answer it, but you think about the darkest times in your life, you zoom out far enough and it may have been the best time, the thing that helped you the most. You may have learned the biggest lesson or like made a change in your life that you really needed to. And it's just like, yes, at the time you hate it and you don't want to be in it. But eventually you zoom out far enough and it's usually a positive. Yeah,
absolutely. I don't have any regrets in life, even the worst, darkest moments of my life. I don't regret, because it makes me who I am today. And I did learn those lessons, as hard as they may or may not have been.
The best.
What have been some of those lessons that you've learned?
There's been a lot. I think I'm just like a deeply curious person, and I love that. It's crazy to think that who dictates what's right or wrong, or who dictates we have to wake up and work and like these just things. And I don't know, I just love being curious and just, there's no judgment in that. I think when you're curious, you're just open to delving into the thought and just exploring it and sitting in both sides of it. When you're curious, you sort of, sometimes I'll argue myself in my head about the opposite thing that I believe to sort of work out what do I believe. And I love that. And I think my friends and my family, they always go like, I'll be debating them something, and the next week I'll see them and I'll be debating the opposite side. And they're like, hey, hold on a minute, you were saying this. And I just love challenging people, and I love challenging
like Harry's being Harry.
I love challenging my beliefs, and it's good. It's really good. It's good stuff.
It's an interesting time to be a man. It's an interesting time to be a man pushing boundaries. Would you think? You don't like the term toxic masculinity.
No, so I think it's more just like an interesting time to be a human. I think, it's like we've been given a vehicle with social media, and it's like we didn't know how to drive the vehicle as humans, and we're sort of working it out. Like our generation is definitely the first 20 years of social media and technology and phones. And I don't know, it's like, I think we've been given a vehicle that we don't know how to drive, and we're still working it out. So I think yes, every generation has their own struggles, but I think we've got so much information that I think we're confused, we're complicated, where everyone's got an opinion, everyone's an expert, including myself. I'm sure there's times where I go to my social media and start preaching. You know, who am I? Like, I'm like, who am I to do that, right? It's just, I don't know, just like putting the mirror back on yourself sometimes. And I always love to do that. I'm my own harshest critic, which I think is a blessing and a curse. But yeah, I think it's an interesting time to be a human right now.
What is it? I read that you didn't like the term toxic masculinity, but what was it that you find? What do you think about that term? And I'm talking about it in the context of Andrew Tate, body autonomy discussions going on around the world.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing when it comes to it is that I think when it started, I think it was a beautiful phrase. I think it was like, because there was many things I thought in masculinity that did need to be challenged and questioned, and I just think it's become too politicized, just like a lot of things. So I think it's like when people use it, it's just like, I think I try and put myself in the shoes of like a young boy who's 13, 14, right? They're just maybe even a bit younger these days because kids are maturing quicker because of phones. So let's say above 10. They're just working it out. You mean a lot of the world is like they're seeing this stuff like toxic. You're toxic for being a man, or you're toxic for holding these traits, or like you mean there's a lot of stuff inside a young boy's body that I guess is working it out. They're like more likely to be rambunctious, more likely to have a lot more energy and movement. I'm not saying females can't have that, but like it's just I guess generally speaking, it is more in young boys. So I think if they're viewing on social media, constantly seeing that like they're toxic or they're feeling good. It's like if you tell someone that they're something for so long, they will then eventually come that. That's why I think someone goes to prison, they come out, they're told that they're a criminal. Most people then continue living that. And I think if you continuously tell people that they're toxic, I'm also thinking young boys. Men can hear that term and sort of have a nuanced conversation, but I'm thinking more young boys. I think, I don't know, I just try and have empathy for that because it's like, they're trying to work out the world. And if the world's constantly telling them they're toxic, then they're just like, I don't know. I think it would come out in more ugly sides. And I think it's only insecure men and not secure men who act poorly. I think it's the secure men are the ones who, don't do those things, Yeah.
I worry about young women particularly, but lots of women, and in the world and rise of Andrew Tate.
Same.
Andrew Tate to me is a repugnant human being.
Same.
It scares me.
You see some of the stuff he was posting after Trump's election, like just a pig of a man, a genuine pig of a man. Yeah. 100%.
So in the sense of, and I think you're right, 100% I agree with you that if we demonize these young people who are trying to find their feet, trying to find their voice, trying to find where they sit, and we tell them they're toxic when they don't even know what that means yet, then it's a dangerous point and it's going to push them towards your Andrew Tates. It's like young women saying they're not a feminist. It's like, well, are you fucking kidding? Being a feminist is literally believing in equality.
Of course.
So
yeah. Yeah.
What do you mean here? But, I'd be lying if I didn't say I wasn't scared about that element of the world in which we live.
Yeah. And I think it's just true what you said. I think if you continuously demonize or, I don't know, it's like, as I said, as adults, we can both have a conversation and go, we could talk about toxic masculinity 100%, but it's like, you imagine being 11, 12 and you're sort of just like, navigating social media, navigating school life. You've just hit year 7 and I don't know, I just think you're starting to sort of work out this ego and I don't know, and you're both sides are just trying to work it out. So I don't know, I don't know if it's like, I don't know if it's a positive discussion anymore and I'd love to be proven wrong because I'm not the god of the universe. I don't know what's right. I just think I try and put yourself in a young person's shoes, both male and female, and sort of, I don't understand what they would be talking about. They're not having like, I'm not saying that they can't, but most of them wouldn't be having mature, nuanced, respectful conversations about it, right?
Yeah. I mean, one of the things I've long told you that I love about you is that you have pushed those boundaries and given a space to people that don't necessarily feel seen in that mainstream world. You're a mainstream athlete in a masculine sport, but you wear a skirt up the red carpet, which, can be a bit confronting for some and others just find it hot. Like I don't mean in a sexual way. I mean, it's just a hot look. I love that about you. And I think that's really important to show that to kids that otherwise wouldn't necessarily have been exposed to that, to go, oh, hey, is he gay? Is he straight? Is he wearing a skirt? Is he wearing pants? What's going on? Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think from a young age, I've always very much been like, if a society says go left, I'm like, fuck you, I'll go right. So I don't know if I can swear, but
yeah,
I've always been like that. It's like push back. It's like, I don't know, I do it in a respectful way, but like delve into yourself and find out who you are and find out. But also like, I don't know, we can all make this up. I feel like we're constantly, I love this story. I love it so much. So there was a husband walked home from work and he saw his wife cooking a roast and she chopped the roast in half and put it in the oven. He thought that was weird. And he asked his partner, he's like, why did you do that? And she said, back in the day, mum did that. They went and asked the mum and the mum said, my mum did that, your grandma. And they went to the grandma, she was in the nursing home, and they went into the nursing home and they asked her, why did you chop the roast in half? And said, back in my day, the ovens were this big, so we had to chop it in half so it would fit. And I think we are born and we are just told stories upon stories upon stories about how to live our life, and no one knows. Our ancestors didn't know. Our future ancestors still don't know. No one knows. And I love that. Like, you can look at that and think it's sort of like quite existential and sad and like, oh my God, what are we doing? Of course, I have those moments, but it's like we can make it up. And if you want to believe something one day, if I want to believe in, the God of the universe is a blade of grass, I can do that. I have the freedom to do that. If I want to believe that something else is the meaning, the creator, it's like I can do that. I know this is a complex topic, but I love that. We can wake up every day and change it. We can try it. We can be different. We can be weird. We can be creative. We can conform as well if that's what you want to do. Like, do whatever you want to do. Do what makes you feel safe and do what makes you feel you. I think that's like our duty. It's like a genuine duty, especially I think before I have kids, because I can't wait for that day. But like, I don't explore that, find out who I am, because then I'm just giving that into them, I hope.
So you, some people find that confusing though.
Yeah. Yeah. So I do as well. Yeah. And I love that.
What do you think they get confused by?
I think it's like, it's confusing that like, we don't know. Like, and I don't know half the time. I'm just sort of like, I'm just in things, right? It's like, how often are we just doing things? And I'd love that. Just like exploring something different. And I don't know, it sounds like I'm on like a psychedelic trip all the time. Like, and you know what I mean? Like,
Did you just have some mushies on the way in?
You know what I mean? But I really like that. Like, I don't know. And yes, there are so many times I can sit here on this podcast and say all these things, but there's so many times that I do conform and I do play a role, or I do not live to what I'm saying right now. Like, I'm human and I'm flawed and imperfect, but I do genuinely believe at my essence, I'm just deeply curious and I love trying things and thinking about things. I call it mental masturbation. I think about way too much, way too often, and it complicates my brain, but I enjoy it.
Mental masturbation.
Yeah.
That's so good.
It's good stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good. I wish it felt as good as some of the other stuff.
I'm really excited to share something very special with you. You know, I've always been open about my personal struggles, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. And now I've put it all into my book, Mental as Anyone. It's raw, it's real, and full of the lessons I've learned, alongside some expert wisdom from Dr. Jodie Lowinger to help you navigate your own mental health journey. The book hits shelves in all good bookstores nationally on June 25, but you can pre-order it right now on Amazon. The link is in the show notes. This book means the absolute world to me. I hope it helps you too.
Again, putting your name to something like Crew, working with Chemist Warehouse, Bondi Perfume Co., they've got fragrances. You've got him, her, and them. That might be confusing to some people that are straight, boxer, is doing that.
Yeah, and I love that. When I saw the brief about being involved, I thought, I know inside myself there are so many parts of my personality that half the time I don't even know where I stand. And I love that, right? So I think the fact that there is 3 different scents for 3 different types of people or beings or, essence, then I think that is actually major tea. There's times where I wake up, or in a week I'm completely in my masculine energy, and there's times for a week I'm in my feminine energy, and there's times where I don't know where the hell I am, right? And I love that. Like, I'm all over the shop, but I'm enjoying. It's like I'm riding this massive wave, and it's a lot of fun. And there's times where it feels like I've been tumbled by the wave, but I don't know. I always pick myself back up, always, and I don't enjoy it. I know at my essence, yes, I'm flawed, yes, I'm imperfect, but I try my best, and I think my heart's in the right place. Maybe sometimes it isn't, but I do often try hard. Yeah, and I think that's important.
What gender do you associate with? Obviously you're a man, you're male. That some people would be like, but he wears a skirt. Does that mean he's a woman? Or like, does that mean he's non-binary? I know this, I'm really not asking the questions very articulately, but I'm curious what goes through your brain about this conversation.
Yeah, it's more around like, I know people can think what they want, and I think it's more starting a conversation around people just challenging their beliefs. As I said to you before, like, I will go home and my parents hate me because they live in Melbourne. I'm in Sydney now, and I'll just go home and just pound them with questions about this type of stuff. And they're like working class. They just sort of go about their life. It seems, I don't obviously know what goes inside their brain, but I don't know. I just love exploring that. Like, who is society to tell me to act a certain way? Like, yes, always in your essence, be respectful to other people and be, I don't know, kind where you can be. But like, who, like, form in line? Like, why? Why be like the person in front of you? We're all just robots. Like, the fact that we have creativity and art and beauty and I don't know, like, that's what makes humanity so amazing, and it's like worth living. It's like that. Have you seen what's that movie? A Dead Poet Society. What a movie, where he talks about having your own little walk and your own little movement. And I love that, right? Because we all do. It's just I don't think people have the courage, because society does demonize difference a bit. I don't think a lot of people have the courage to, I don't know, delve into themselves. And I want to try and not lead from the front, but I've had many other people like the Reach Foundation who have helped me have this confidence of like I'll try this. And if I don't like it, I won't do it again. If I do like it, I'll continue doing it.
Have there been times where you mentioned there's been times where you felt like you had to conform? Have there been times where you have felt othered?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like there's been times where I have felt othered, but then there's also been times where I felt like, I think naturally as a young person, I do think that it's like biologically in us. Like, we don't want to stand out too much. I think as young people, I definitely felt that for myself. You don't want to stand out too much, because like, it's like for survival, we want to feel accepted by our community. And there was many times in my childhood where I felt if everyone that I was around was doing this, I was usually around boys. So if everyone was doing this, then I was doing this too. So I don't know, I felt like I had to. I felt like you have to sort of, don't sort of like stray too much, or else you'd be known as weird. But then I sort of built the confidence to like shed my armor a little bit. And it's still like an ongoing process. I still find myself now going to hang out with my high school mates, and I start acting a little bit different, thinking, what the hell? I've like done all this growth and I'm going backwards, and like, but like, that's just part of it, right? Like, then you start noticing it quicker and you can adapt quicker. And what I've found though, when I have taken down the mask and shown a little bit more of what I'm finding out in here as it's coming out, it's like slowly but surely, it takes time, but you attract people who accept you for that. Right? You take down the mask and people accept you for that. And it does take time. There was definitely periods I was like, oh, do you just go back to just being that bloke who, I don't know, was a tradie, or like, I don't conform because that's what I thought my parents wanted me to do, or my brothers wanted me to do, or my community wanted me to do? Or do you choose to, I don't know, be yourself? It's up to you. And there's no fault either way, or no wrong either way.
It takes strength. But yeah, for me, it depends what day of the week it is, to be honest, where my strength is.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you ever had dark days of depression?
Have I ever? Yeah.
Have you been diagnosed with depression?
No, I remember I saw a psychologist, and it was like the second time I saw him. So we sat down for 90 minutes. Like, I'd seen a number of psychologists in my life, and then the second time I saw him, he said, has anyone ever said that maybe you've got bipolar? And I was like, mate, you've seen me for not even 3 hours. I thought and I was like you put that into my brain, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I'm sure if you psychoanalyze me, or even any human, we could diagnose people, but I don't, for me, this is my belief. I could be so wrong. I'm no doctor or no God, but I think it's about working out who you are and how to manage yourself. Right. So like, absolutely, I have these like highs and lows, and my sporting career has been high and then it's been low, and then life knocks you down sometimes. And I think it's about recognizing that, being curious, and putting things in place so you can take care of yourself. And that's all I try to do through maturity and through age and through experience. And I'm still learning things now, and there's still things that I think in time I'll implement that will be better than the things I'm doing now.
You haven't wanted to explore that bipolar stuff?
No, not really. I think like, I can recognize something inside myself. I think that there's, as I said, if you really psychoanalyze me as a psychologist or psychiatrist, like, you could probably diagnose me with a number of things. But like, I don't think there's anything good that, personally, I just don't think there's anything, because it's like, someone can tell you something, especially as a young kid. You imagine this, you hear that, okay, I've got got depression, or I've got, I don't know, ADHD, or I've got these things. And it's like they are then labeled that for the rest of their life. And it's just like, that's them, that's their being. Where it's like, I think it's more learned. I don't want to say learned behavior. I don't think it's that. I think it's more the things you needed in moments when you were younger to get through those moments or to disassociate. And then I don't think they serve you later on in life. But if you're told that at a young age, you then live that for the rest of your life. And then you're prisoner to that. You're prisoner to that diagnosis. You're prisoner to that. That's just my belief. And I could be so wrong. But
Yeah.
I think, as I said, it's all about like being curious for me and working out what's going on inside. Absolutely. Still see professionals. I see professionals all the
Yeah,
time.
I mean, this is on the caveat that this is your lived
Yes.
experience, and that if
I'm
anyone
seeing
is out there
professionals,
that's
yes. See
feeling,
professionals, talk to them. Don't, as I said, I'm not a god. This is just what has worked for me, for sure.
and you have sought professional help at times to
Heaps.
to seek out
Heaps.
things, and probably will again, I imagine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's really valuable. I think, like I digest a lot about this sort of stuff, but I also know that I am not qualified. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
You want to have kids?
One day.
How
Can't
many?
wait. I'm hoping for 2. Yeah, but I think I also was one of 3, so I do know the beauty of 3. I do know that there's a bit of a dark sheep in the third family when there's 3, but I think any more than 3, you got to get a Kia Carnival or something like that, and I don't want that. It's like a mum's car.
How did you feel after the Olympics? Because I know it felt painful watching some of your social media at the time, because it was such a blow that you didn't make it as far as you wanted. Like you were gunning to win.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. I haven't really, to be completely honest with you, I haven't really stopped and thought about it. Yeah, I've just been distracting myself from that of myself since the Olympics. So, I think there's been some moments where absolutely I've been sad. I think there's twice. Obviously the one straight after, and then there was one other time when I was back in Sydney where I really stopped and was like, I don't know, I just felt like there was a young kid inside of myself. Like, you know what it's like to feel embarrassed. Whether I don't know, some people don't get picked, they get picked last in sport when they're younger, or like.
That was me constantly. I was a fat kid.
You know
who
what it's like.
Never got picked for sport.
It's that feeling, right? That feeling of embarrassment. And I feel like that there's just a young kid inside of me that I don't think we ever lose that young kid inside of us. And it's just embarrassed that I put myself out there after having success at the Tokyo Olympics. And then I know that young kid deserves to feel like that. And I think as a man, the 27-year-old man can recognize that. And I'm just trying to hold that young kid. But yeah, there's times where it's like, oh, how embarrassing. Like, and that young kid is valid to feel that. Like, it is embarrassing. It's like, but also I just would always for myself know that put yourself in the arena, that Theodore Roosevelt quote, and shoot for the stars. And you always grow into a bigger, better version of yourself if you set big, audacious goals and you don't play it safe.
Absolutely, that kid is welcome, and not to devalue those feelings, but what you did was represent your country, and that's extraordinary.
Yes,
regardless.
Yeah, that's still my greatest.
So I don't think my personal view is to be embarrassed. It's a shame that that's what you've taken away, or part of what you've taken away, and I understand why. Being my own worst critic, but I hope you realize that there's others that are like, hey, he gave it a shot and it could have gone the other way. And that's how the cards played out that day.
Yeah, for sure. Like as I said, a 27-year-old man, I can recognize that and I can sort of put it to bed. But then as I said, there's still that young boy inside of me that it's just like, it's to bring people on the journey. Like for most of my life, like my parents thought I'd never make something of this. And my friends thought that like I was sort of pissing in the wind. I would never make something of this. And there was many people in my life that I know that were really close to me that didn't think that I would make a career out of boxing. And I think it was weird that Tokyo was probably the turning point that people started believing it. So finally my parents started to think, oh, wow, like this is great. And then I brought everyone on that journey, and then to fall like that, that's embarrassing for me.
It hurt.
Yeah. But it's also knowing that I've learned so much in those 20 years. And I think the most important thing is like, I've become my own friend. And it's like, in that, it's like, I think you always learn the most from the big goals that take a long time. And if you achieve them, you don't achieve, you know what I mean? It's just like, you learn something from that pursuit of it. Yeah.
Are you done with the Olympics?
I've got no answers about that, to be honest. Like, as in, I don't know. Yeah, I actually don't know. There's like, there's still this like hunger inside my belly for boxing for sure, but I just don't know what direction to walk in. So I think I was saying to you guys before, like I said to myself post Olympics that I refused to go to a boxing gym until I wanted to. Yeah, and it took me like 2 months, maybe just over 2 months, and then there was like that hunger. I was like, man, I want to go back. And I think just do it for that. Like I started it for love. I started it for passion. I fell in love with the sport. I fell in love with my coach. I fell in love with the identity it gave me. I fell in love with so many things about it. And I love that I've got that back. And it's like, if I don't fight again, as long as I have that and I just go to the boxing gym and it's fun, if I fight again, great. Like I love to fight too, but just doing it for the right reasons. Not, I think there's been many times where I've done things for the wrong reason, or I don't know. And as I said, I don't always live to that. I'm sure like they offered me massive money and I was like, ooh, like I'm human. I'm so human. But I always try and listen to that, like that. Doing it for love, doing it for passion, and what's right. Yeah.
Yeah. But saying I'm going to win gold at X Olympics, that's not in your mind at the moment.
Not at the moment. As I said, I just wanted to do it for love right now. And I'm sure once I start feeling fit, you got to understand that you lose fitness very quickly. And I'm fit, but I'm not boxing fit. There's a big difference. So until I get that boxing fitness back, then I think that I'll start having a clearer mind about what's next.
What does the future have in store for you outside of sport then?
I don't know. I'm sort of just riding this wave. Like I know that I'll wake up tomorrow and be 50 and it'll be over. Like I'm aware of that. And I'm also kind of looking forward to that. Like I know public identity, fame, whatever you want to call it. Like it's not all it's cracked up to be. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it feels like your life's in the balance at any given point. Like you can say the wrong thing, you could get cancelled, you could do the wrong thing. Like, I don't know. It's just like, there is so many perks to it, and you're constantly being validated. And I know sometimes I do attach my self-worth to that sometimes, but also knowing that I'll be quite happy. I think I'll be quite happy in like a small coastal town, by the water, little family. I'd love that. Like I'm like I'm a complex person, but I'm quite basic with so many things too. So I don't know. Enjoy the roller coaster while it's here. Don't know what's next. And then when it's over, just be happy with it. Yeah.
What do you think of the word mental in this podcast? It's called Mental as Anyone.
Mm. Oh, what do I think of the word mental? I think the listeners will probably think that I am mental after listening to this.
Good.
Yeah, but I just think it's human. It's human, and I just love that. Like we are all crazy, beautiful, messed up, imperfect, perfect. Like we are all those things, right? And that's for me the best thing about being human. So I think we're all a little bit mental.
Finishing up, scale of 0 to 10, 10 being absolutely outstanding and 0 being not at all, the opposite of that. Where are you at today?
Oh, that's a good question. I ask myself this a fair bit throughout the day. I think I am maybe like a 7. Yeah. I feel like I've, over the last 2 weeks, done a few good things for myself. But I think before those 2 weeks, I was probably at like a 2. Yeah. For a period of time. Yeah. Just like post-Olympics, finding that identity, don't know where I'm going next. Wasn't taking care of myself, was partying more often, was eating bad food, wasn't training as regularly, sleep pattern was off. So I was kept taking and subtracting from my cup, that I felt the repercussions of that. So I'm feeling better now, and like I got asked to go for beers in the weekend and I said no. So it's like it's because I got nothing coming up. I've got no direction right now, which is exciting. It's so exciting, but then also as well, it's terrifying. Like, you know how easy it is to wake up every day and know where you're going? Mm-hmm. Olympic gold, just keep going. It's like chipping away at it. It's like, I don't have that right now. So I'm just like, I feel like I'm treading water, but it's enjoyable at times.
Harry Garside, thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us on Mental as Anyone.
Thanks, Shamo.
This episode is supported by Chemist Warehouse, Australia's leader in health and wellness products. Whether you're looking for natural supplements, fitness essentials, or everyday healthcare, Chemist Warehouse has you covered at unbeatable prices. They're proud to support this podcast and help you take control of your health and well-being. Head to chemistwarehouse.com.au for the best selection of vitamins, wellness products, and more to keep you feeling your best. BYD has taken it to the next level with the all-electric Sea Lion 7, a performance SUV that's as sleek as it is powerful. We're talking quiet luxury, up to 482 kilometers of range, and a 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 4.5 seconds. It's smooth, it's fast, and honestly, sustainability has never looked this good. With 4 luxe colours, including the stunning shark grey, this is EV driving elevated. If you're even a little bit curious, check out the links in the show notes. Big thanks to BYD for making this podcast possible. I know firsthand how overwhelming life can get, and I also know how powerful it is when you have the right tools to get you through it. That's why I've written Mental as Anyone, a book filled with real stories, practical strategies, and expert insights to help you manage stress, anxiety, and everything life throws your way. With clinical psychologist Dr. Jodie Lowinger providing her professional insights. It'll be on shelves in all good bookstores nationally on June 25, but you can pre-order it right now on Amazon. The link is in the show notes. If you've ever felt like you're struggling alone, this book is for you. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Mental as Anyone. There's been some heavy insights in there, but also some useful tools for all of us to move forward. If you want to be the first to hear new episodes, be sure to hit follow. And if you find yourself in need of support, links to Lifeline, Beyond Blue, and the Black Dog Institute are in the show notes below. See you later.